that apply to all the capstones or to any of the capstone instructors?
Particularly for the second two, that focus a lot on group projects. If there's, for the MA students, kind of the halfway point, midterm assessment, like pass, fail, I mean, how does that factor into the fact that they're group projects?
So, Bill's is easy.
Yeah, I always get a lot of anxiety from the MA students about how all that works. And obviously the individual paper is done by them, so that's a big part of the grade. And what I'm proud to say, and I told my students, is that the faculty committee that looks at these things talks to the instructor and looks at the grade. And I've never lost a person who got a B or better, who I graded a B or better in the course. So what I tell the students is focus on the course, do what you need to do, and then we'll take care of getting that up and reviewed and back. And if you do a good job on doing your paper and the stuff when that grade is due, that's usually enough to get you through. Does that answer your question?
And then I would say it's a little bit different in my course because there's only one project that you're doing for the entire semester. My objective is to use that midterm assessment as a way for each of you to individually give your thoughts on how you're applying your coursework to the client project. You will have worked with your groups on a lot of activities and understand that you'll have some similar ideas, but you'll do that exam as individuals and it will be based on your client. So you can think of it almost as a first draft of maybe the first half of the project paper. And then I use that as a stepping stone because then the next deliverable is for you each in a group to maybe compare after you've submitted that each of your drafts to see what you like about each person's and kind of combine them then into the best possible product for the first half of the deliverable. And then you also submit that for feedback from me.
And if you're wondering who these committee members will be, it's the people in this room. They'll be committee members for one another, and I actually may be on a couple of committees too, I think. So that won't be a mystery. Yes?
For the first two, and I guess three, actually, how much SCADA is involved? If we're talking about like regression and other stuff, like how's that factor in?
That's a good question. So I don't require that you use data. If you use SPSS or any software, R or any, could be too much for you. But Excel, right? If you have a plug-in in Excel, you can also run regression. So what I want to say is, if you want to run regression, any software will be fine. But I don't require that you do regression. So if you can do regression, that's great. It can help you do a rigorous regression. But what I mean by data is that if you have to do either interview or document analysis or some surveys or analysis of documents or text analysis or regression analysis. So I mean, you have to go beyond a simple review of literature in order to be successful in a class. So, and that's a long answer, but Stata will be great. I can help you with some of the skills in the Stata. So some, in previous Capstone that I taught, for some of the methods that you're not familiar with, I can show you the codes and guide you through how to do that. In some weeks I can schedule one-on-one meetings to have some half an hour work sessions to walk you through. That could be part of the weeks that we can have individual sessions.
It's a great opportunity. You might not have loved your 6070 class. If you took Professor Yi, I'm sure you did love it. But it's a really good opportunity to apply that material, to really understand kind of, that's why we learn these skills. And when you actually do it with your own data, it often makes a lot more sense than when you just do it as homeworks in a class. So Professor Yi, what if I want to publish my paper with you and I'm doing human subjects research? What do I need to do right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, for that, for research, some of you may be interested in, say, pursuing a PhD, or just for your own achievement, you want to, publish something while you are studying here. So, if you want to do that, you have a plan in mind. you probably should go through the IRB process. It's called Institutional Review Board. So that's when you're doing research involving human subjects, you're doing interview or surveys. You got to make sure you protect your interviewees or survey respondents, their privacy, their safety, or make sure your questions do not hurt them mentally or physically. So you got to go through that training. In the first class of the research capstone, we're going to have a training on research ethics. And basically, you get this training anyways to the city training, but that would not be sufficient lead time for you to get research done if that's something you want to do. But for everybody else, we all have to go through this training. But if you do want to get things published, you have to do that. But for purely in-class project, if you do not intend to publish, so you can, those kind of surveys or interviews should be okay. But as long as you want to get something published in public, then you have to go through this certification, IRB certification. Then you have to work with me. I'll be the principal investigator, and you'll be a co-PI working with me. But it's your project. But in our system, you have to, I have to submit the proposal with you in order to get it approved. And then that helps protect you and also protect me and also protect your respondents in the research process. That's important because we want to make sure that we adhere to the standards in research. Okay.
Any last questions?
This is a very specific question, but if we are going to be taking 60/40, so the budgeting course concurrently in the spring with the capstone, is it not advisable to take your course in specifically? Or I guess what would you say to that?
Yeah, I've had people do that before, and they've been able to handle both of them. Again, if you're totally number phobic, it's probably not, or budget phobic, it's probably not a good course for you, but if you can handle logic as advised by budgets, I think you can manage it. Again, this course isn't so much on memorizing details and stuff, it's more on analyzing in the broad sense. It includes budgeting, but other things as well, a financial condition, and then figuring out what to do about it.
Well, great. Oh, sure.
Does the nonprofit capstone require significant, out-of-class commitment? Like during the day?
One of the things that I try to consider is I form groups is when people are able to meet with one another. So that's something that I consider as we form groups. I wouldn't say that it's significant. I think it's helpful. And particularly if you have, that's the idea also of having a little bit larger group. If you need to meet with a client, maybe the whole group doesn't need to be there, because I understand that you all have time commitments. Some of you have full-time jobs. It may be hard to schedule in meetings with the clients. I wouldn't say it's significant. I would say that everyone last semester seemed to be able to make it work, and I'm pretty flexible and understanding about that.
All right, great. If you have specific questions for any of the instructors, they'll stay around for at least a couple of minutes. I know some of them have to leave at 6 o'clock. Thank you all for coming tonight. I think you'll find the capstone is a fun process, and I guarantee that you'll learn a lot from your classmates in the class too. I think we all love teaching the capstone because we learn so much too from all of you. All right, good luck.